The Minister of Justice, Yvonne Dowsab, noted that the National Sexual Offenders Register is intended to monitor and track those convicted of sexual crimes. She also added that her ministry still has to finalize the kind of information to be provided in the register, the institutions that will be responsible for managing the register, and how public it will be made so as to protect people from sexual offenders and at the same time prevent mob justice against perpetrators listed on the register.
The intention of the Sexual Offenders Register is to deter people from repeating a particular crime, particularly a crime that relates to sexual offenses. It is also intended to discourage would-be offenders, people who may have thought about committing a sexual crime, from doing it. Because in a way, the register is going to be made public, and you will be restricted, for example, from where you're going to apply for a job. You may be restricted about what kinds of environments you're going to be working in. Typically, the register exposes people to risk. Remember, the kind of information that is provided in the register, it is the name of the person, it is what they've been convicted of, for example, it's their ID numbers. It could even include, physical addresses and those kinds of things. But these are things that we have not yet finalized.
Dilokelwan Tengwe, an advocate for the marginalized groups who was also at the forefront of the hashtag Shut It All Down protests, which had initially called for the register, notes that it has been long overdue, asking that once implemented, the public should be well informed on the categories and criteria under which someone is a sex offender.
Often we find that sex offenders, sexual assaulters, can easily reintegrate themselves into society, especially men who are majority perpetrators of these acts and crimes, right? And that goes to show that they do not experience reputational harm or backlash, and therefore they are able to reintegrate themselves into society because our society is largely a gatekeeping society, and that is why it is easier to hide, right? And so in its effectiveness, it must address the ways that can be sort of stopped, because if we look at, for example, a medical doctor that was now convicted of this specific crime and they are stripped of their license, it should be that they should not at all ever get the chance to practice medicine again, firstly, but also that they can't reintegrate themselves anywhere else in society, because you'll find that same medical doctor may be going to work as an MD at some other company. It does not make any sense.
On the amendment tabled in the National Assembly to the Combating of Rape Act of 2000, the Justice Minister mentioned that the minimum sentence for persons convicted of rape has been increased, while the protection mechanisms has been strengthened for when sexual violence has taken place against vulnerable persons, such as those with disabilities.
This is linked to Section 3 of the current Act, which provides for penalties. And what we've done is in each turn, we have added 5 years. So where, for example, on a first conviction, you would be sentenced to 5 years, we've increased that to 10. Where there was 10, we would increase it to 15, and so the amendment goes on about the minimum sentences. Of course, there's a bit of a challenge because you don't also want to tie the judiciary, who's an independent body, to minimum sentences. But I think it gives the court some kind of guideline of what the expectation is of the law in how we should respond when people are accused of sexual violence.
Once implemented by March 2022, Namibia will join countries such as South Africa, the United States and Germany, amongst others, with a national sexual offenders register.